I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and if you like this video, share, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, you know all the things to do. Today on Genesis Does, I want to talk about the Sega Genesis Classics collection because when I fired this one up today, I noticed that it had a version update, which I was not expecting. It's a very minor version update, 1.00 to 1.02, but that got my curiosity intrigued as to what they could have possibly done to this game in the years since it was released. And when was it released? Well, good question. Let's start there. Sega Genesis Classics was released on a lot of different things, including Nintendo Switch, which is what I'm playing it on here, but it was also released as a series of collections for Microsoft Windows starting in early 2010. Then it got ported to Linux, macOS, PS4, Xbox One, with all of those versions being released on the same day, May 29th, 2018. A few months later, the same year, it finally came to Nintendo Switch in the European Union on December 6th and in North America on December 7th. Now, over time, there have been some changes in which versions have which games included. The version with the absolute most complete library of games is the version on Steam. So if you get a Steam Deck, you might want to see it be Steam supported, fully Steam supported. I don't know if it is right now because I don't even have a Steam Deck, so I don't have a reason to buy it for Steam, let alone check that compatibility. But if you want every single game, that's the way to go. The second best version would be the console versions that came out in 2018 because they include most, but not all, of the Genesis classics. There are a few like the Echo the Dolphin games, Eternal Champions, and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 that get left off. It's curious to me that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 gets included on Steam, but not on consoles. But I can attest to that because I checked when I uploaded this video that version 1.02 did not magically add Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which I was kind of hoping for and was disappointed to see that it did not. In fact, it appears that the only thing this patch updated was input lag. I can't find anything to suggest otherwise. Can't find any new games included on it, so that seems to have been the only thing they worked on in this newer release. But if you buy the game physically, it'll download the latest version. If you purchase it through the eShop, you'll get the updated version automatically. So either way, don't worry about it. It's just refinements to make the game better. Sadly, it's not the inclusion of any more games. The Sega Genesis Classics collection is centered around the idea that you're a kid in his bedroom playing Sega Genesis, so you've got posters, you've got a CRT television, you've got a wall full of more Genesis games than I think any of us ever had back in those days, and you can just select one of the games, pull that game off the shelf, stick it in your Genesis, and play. And of course, the filter options you would expect with something like this kind of compilation are there. You can do scan lines, you can do full screen, or you can crop it. You can add whatever sort of After Effects you want, curve the glass, all that. Just go with whatever you want to recreate or imitate for your experience. For me, I'm going with it blown up to the maximum resolution with these borders on the side. It's a little bit like the old Sega Genesis box artwork on some of the early games, but you can pick from different borders if those don't do it for you. Also keep in mind that some of the things you may have gotten used to from the Genesis Mini, if you have one, you won't be finding those here. You're looking for Mega Man The Wily Wars? No, that's not included. Monster World 4? Sorry, no. Do you want to play Tetris? Better buy the Genesis Mini, because it's not here. Now, does that make this bad? I would say no. It's a very nice compilation. It's got save states and features that you would want. I wouldn't knock it just for not having some of the exclusive games that the Genesis Mini does. I would say it's not an either or proposition. I would say have both, because the Genesis Mini, at least for a while, was pretty darn cheap. Maybe it's not still now, but you can buy this compilation for around $30 physically, and at least at one point you could buy the Genesis Mini for between $30 and $60. If it's still that today, I'd say get both, and then you have save states for both. You have the games that are exclusive to each one, and they complement each other as opposed to you only buy one or you only buy the other. I don't think there's a huge complaint to be made for getting Sonic the Hedgehog more than one time, for example. I don't object to that. I'm not sure why anybody would. And it also has some alternate language versions, which was one of the things people praised about the Genesis Mini, was that when you switched from English to Japanese, you would get the Japanese region versions, the Mega Drive versions, which often had different difficulty levels and different settings compared to their North American counterparts. So if you want to play the Japanese versions of Alien Soldier, Dynamite Headdy, Streets of Rage 2, Beyond Oasis, you've got choices. Landstalker even has both French and German. Actually, Beyond Oasis has more than that. It has Spanish, German, French, and Japanese, as well as English. So there's quite a bevy of choices there. And there are a few games that aren't included on certain versions of this compilation. Some are exclusive to the physical version. You have to buy it to get that. If you do a digital download, it's not included. I suppose that was an incentive to get people to pay for the full thing, but there aren't too many of those, so it appears they are mostly relegated to the Microsoft Windows versions, where you would get certain things like Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. If you bought Volume 4, you would get it. If you bought it digitally, you would not. And Sonic 3D Blast, same story. Toe Jam and Earl Pentagon Funkatron, same story there as well. The collections have been pretty favorably reviewed over the years. 80 out of 100 on Metacritic for Switch, 75 out of 100 for PS4, 73 out of 100 for Xbox One. So it appears the Switch version is the most liked out of all of them. It's probably good that I'm playing it on Switch then, since that is the best reviewed of the bunch, but I'm also going to pick up the PlayStation 4 version so I can do some streaming of it with the PS5, given the PS4 backward compatibility. I think that's a useful feature for me for future episodes of Genesis Does. I will look forward to doing that. But in general, I think you can't really go wrong with any of these versions of the game. Think about it this way. If you bought any of them individually, like Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sega Ages collection, you're going to pay $7, $8 for that alone. Sales tax on top of that, and then you're looking at almost $9. Well, for 20 more bucks, you could have a lot more games than just Sonic. You buy Sonic, you buy Sonic 2, you buy Phantasy Star. There's 3 games. You could have just bought this whole compilation with a crap ton of games. It's a value proposition as far as I'm concerned. Get more bang for your buck, get the Genesis Classics collection, and enjoy a whole bevy of games with save states and rewind and custom borders and filters and a cool aesthetic that makes it look like you have a game room with a Genesis in it and that you're walking into a virtual world. In fact, from what I hear, you can even interact with it in VR if you have the PlayStation 4 version and a VR headset, which I do not, but if I ever get one, I'll certainly try that. This is Mr. MegaManFan. Thanks for checking out Genesis Does, and I will see you again in a future video. Bye-bye for now.